Promote your brand here at Viral Hip Hop News. Email me, sam@vhiphopnews.com. No, wait, let's go. What up, y'all? It's your man, Sam Ant here at Viral Hip Hop News. Go ahead and hit that like button. Smash that notification bell. And if you're not subscribed to Viral Hip Hop News, ladies and gentlemen, what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now to the brand. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. All right, let's get to work. All right, we've been talking about this Aries Spears, Tiffany Haddish situation for a couple of days now. A lot of y'all have heard the reports, and they're absolutely disgusting and vile. We talked about it on the podcast today. My cousin and I gave our raw and uncut feelings. It'll be on the back of this video, so stay tuned. But I wanted to give you guys some updates. Now, I think all of us know that there was a movie back out in 2014 or a skit that Aries Spears set up called Through a Pedophiles' Eyes that made its round online. Now, to give a little backstory on that, Haddish was approached by Aries Spears to take on the 2014 skit when she was an up-and-coming comedian. She was not present when those inappropriate scenes were filmed, nor did she get to see the completed project when it was finalized at the time. When she eventually saw the final product, she later asked for the video to be taken down immediately, but Aries Spears refused, and the skit later showed up on the platform Funny or Die Digital. Now, those who came across the unsettling clip all can agree it was absolutely disgusting. We talked about it. We talked about at length what should happen to Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish. But one thing we have not talked about is the mother of the siblings, identified by Miss Haddish's attorney as Tazira Morris, who was actually a longtime friend of Tiffany Haddish's at one point, who actually got paid for the skits. But things went left when Morris approached the entertainer following her success in Girls Trip and started asking her for help with her comedic career. When Haddish explained she was unable to, that's when the lawsuits began to happen and the extortions, according to Miss Haddish, according to Tiffany Haddish, were delivered. I'm going to drop my feelings as well as my cousin's about the situation right now. But I ask y'all, should the mom be held a lot more responsible than what she is currently being held for, allowing her to do so, allowing her children to do so? And what do you think about the new reports that Tiffany Haddish had no involvement or idea about exactly what's going to happen? She didn't see the final cut, and when she asked for it to be taken down, Aries Spears said, nah, it's flying anyway. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. But until then, appreciate the content, man. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Of course, subscribe to the brand Viral Hip Hop News. Appreciate y'all. Let's get to work.
To have with Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears, man, because that thing has been escalated, now to one of the victims actually writing a formal letter to the Los Angeles County DA's office calling for the immediate arrest and prosecution of both of them individuals. Now, before I seen the video, I was able to, read the account in detail because I wanted to be sure before I made my statement about what I was going to say about both of these individuals. And then I seen the video, and that was like, like Biggie said, split him down the back and threw salt in the wound. It was horrible, man. And I think it's to a point where I don't know if they're going to get arrested, but I just think that, it should be some serious ramifications for, being involved with something like that at any cost. Because if you're a person of, character and certain things you won't do, money ain't gonna make you do something like that. That's sick, man. Do you think they should be canceled? Do you think it should be done like, lose endorsements? People should stop dealing with them for what they done.
I talked about this on Viral, just reporting it. I didn't give my opinion. I wanted to hear more so what the people had to think, because I was waiting for us to talk about it,
right?
To really express our opinions and how I felt about it. We talked to a lot of people on here. We had the pleasure of talking to a lot of people, and we asked them, is there any role in Hollywood that you were ever asked to do that you just wouldn't do? And we hear a lot of different responses. Never heard that response, though. And not to say that they wouldn't do it, because I'm sure that they wouldn't, but we've never heard that because we've never imagined that it could go to such vile, vitriol, disgusting acts the way not only it was written out and described, but then what we saw. It was probably one of the most craziest things I've ever seen on television. And for Tiffany Haddish, and I don't care what her situation was, because we know where she came from. She came from the fucking bottom. She had to grind her way up. And I'm sure she took a lot of roles that she didn't want to take. But for her to accept that one, right? And then for Aries Spears, because although Tiffany Haddish was bad, Aries Spears was worse. For him to be that dude in that situation, creeping and looking and acting as if you are really that, and to get into the mind of an actor, you really have to get into the mind of the person you're playing. For you to set back and even allow yourself to get to that point, that's sick, man. That's sick.
Yeah.
And then it was recorded. Now, this was recorded years ago, and people were going to talk about it being a witch hunt, things like that, for things that were said and all that, and okay. But the fact is, this shit happened, now it's out. You asked me, because I've been talking, whether or not they should be canceled. I don't know. I look at them different now. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
I look at them different now. If we interviewed Aries Spears, and it was cool. Don't know if we'll ever interview him again. If we ever interview Tiffany Haddish, either one of them, this shit will come up. You know what I'm saying? Because there is no getting around this now. This will be on them forever. And I see it taking away a lot of money and situations for them. Whether or not it takes away their career, I don't know. But if you're talking about canceling Will Smith for slapping a man in the face, what we doing for this?
And then, she pretty much came out and said, while it was a sketch, this is Tiffany Haddish, it was intended to be comedic. It wasn't funny at all. And I deeply regret having agreed to act on it, right? Now, let's before I talk about whether they should be knocked up out of here, right? If from my recollection, this was like a Nickelodeon, I think, or some type of production. One of these, that's what I read. If I'm wrong, maybe I read it wrong, but I thought this was like something that had to do with Nickelodeon, one of those companies. I was thinking to myself, I said, well, how come, like, who wrote the script and stuff up? And how come they're not being held accountable for this? Because you wrote the script up and, like, you wrote this sick stuff up. Okay, you got people to do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you wrote it up. Why was something? And to me, it started exposing, like, okay, this crazy stuff is really going on in Hollywood. Whether it's on a small scale or a large scale, like this sick, sadistic, freaky stuff that people say, oh, the people doing this in Hollywood, they doing this and they doing that. And to me, that gives more credence to all of that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, maybe it was something that they did. I don't know if it was the Lizzo comments. I don't know if it was something Tiffany Haddish did. I can't go down that lane as being conspiratorial and people trying to go after them as a witch hunt. But I do think this is enough for them, to be knocked up out of there. Like, the hell with them. After this, they should lose, I think, people's support, because how many times are you going to be that word? Like, how many times you got to steal to be a thief? How many times you got to, do this to be that at the end of the day? To me, it has to be some type of explanation. I have to hear what they both have to say. Or if it's not satisfactory, if they're not regretful enough, if they don't tell us what the circumstance was, maybe I might be a little bit more forgiving. But other than that, get them out of here, man. Get them out of here.
You said you put the nail on the head. The people who allowed this to go down need to be held responsible.
Right.
The people who wrote this need to be held responsible. The people that taped it, the people that distributed it, they need to be held responsible.
Yep.
Because how do you let this shit go down? They had blocks over the boy, but the boy looked naked. That's a child. Where were his parents? And then there were reports that his parents weren't even allowed inside. How is that possible? This is a minor.
Yep.
Damn the money. I'm looking to whoop somebody's ass.
Yep.
And then I'm looking to get paid. Because this is insane. Now, I heard the reports that she wasn't, or the parents weren't even looking for that much amount of money. There's a lot of criticism going for the parents as well. This situation is crazy. And this is what I tell you. I don't know about the parents. I don't know about Tiffany Haddish or Aries Spears doing anything extra or being responsible. But them kids deserve every dime of what they're suing for. And whether the parents get it or whether it's putting a trust for them babies when they get old enough to have it, the trauma that they probably dealt with doing that nasty shit, whether it was acting or whether it took it beyond off the camera, man, look.
Do you think, because there was a formal letter written today by one of the victims, to have them immediately prosecuted? Do you think they should be prosecuted and arrested?
Based off of what we... based
off that video.
Based off the video? No. If they did more, hell yeah.
Okay.
Because the next level is you took it all the way there.
Right.
And, okay, if we were to arrest Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears, then everybody has to be arrested. These two alone cannot sit and lay on this sword because they just did an act. They had the opportunity to agree or disagree on doing it. They had the opportunity to say yes or no, but they didn't pull the strings. They didn't pull the triggers. They didn't say cut. They didn't say action. Them people need to have their names exploded too, and they need to be in jail just as clearly as them two if they were going to take it to that level.
Yeah. And that's why I go to show, man, like it's all that glitters is not gold in this industry. It just seems like if you got any type of dirt in your closet that at some point is going to be exposed. I don't know why it came out now. I don't know, I don't know. Maybe it's that Tiffany Haddish didn't sign those deals, or she didn't do what they said, or Aries didn't do what they said back in the day. I don't know, but it's disgusting, man. And I'm glad that we got a chance to talk about it together because I think that was needed for the people, and I really, want to hear the people's, feedback, on that too. Now them asking for them to be prosecuted. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. Honestly, I think that's a part of the escalation process. Like they don't want it just to be in the media and it die down. They want this to escalate to the point where, some serious punishment, maybe not just all criminal, but whatever type of punishment, whether they start losing endorsements. And I'm pretty sure they are at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Aries wasn't really doing nothing crazy big like Tiffany anyway. He was doing his thing, but Tiffany's a way bigger.
She was on the verge of doing something way bigger too.
And this might take her out, knock her out of the box when it comes to that.
Do you seeing this, right, and kind of hearing what we've heard over the years, and I guess you can call it conspiracy theorizing? How much more do you think is out there? This wasn't done last week. This was 10 years ago.
With them two in general, or just all together?
Not them two in general. How many actors do we see in Hollywood? And let's say Kevin Hart, and I'm not putting anything on Kevin Hart. I'm just using him for an example because in 2012, he sat pretty much in the same position. 2011, he was grinding. He wasn't an iconic superstar he is now. What if there's something damning on him? What if he did something for a role? What if any one of these A-list celebrities that are icon? What if The Rock did something wild when he was Rocky Maivia?
That's why we anytime we bring an actor on or actress, we have to ask them about the dress, because once you start going down that emasculation lane, anything is possible. Talking, doing stuff for little children and wearing a dress. I think all of that in my world connects because it's like they're trying to get you to do something crazy that you normally wouldn't do for whatever I don't know why like they do stuff like this, but they do it. Yeah. And I think that's all in my opinion, connected all in the big circle of these directors, just really wanting to just strip you down to nothing, or maybe holding something over you. We heard about those stories too, having, go in a room, whatever, whether it be a crazy act you do and then recording and just having something over you just in case you get out of line too much. We're going to put this out on you. And it's happened to a lot of people, a lot of people. And I think it's a lot. I think that there's a lot out there waiting to be uncovered at the right time. You say something too crazy, you're going in a certain group of people too crazy, you get too big, too bold, too black. Okay. Yeah. Shut your butt up. Shut your behind up. We taking endorsement from you. We taking that. You ain't living like that no more, huh?
And just a little word of advice to kind of close out. Any parents that want to get their child in Hollywood, think twice about that shit. I used to want to get into acting so much as a kid. You remember, I wanted to do that shit bad, right? It ain't all glitters and gold, and it should be a certain age, a certain mindset, and a certain maturity level before you expose your child to certain things. And a lot of them children that grew up in Hollywood, they grew up way too goddamn quick, and they end up having some very damning results when they grow older. And I pray for these two children, man, that went through what they went through. Because if it was all that we saw on that them couple of clips, that was enough. That's terrible.
Yeah, man. I just hate, that they're in that situation, but they made that decision. Yeah. How could you agree to something like that? Like how? Unless you was already sick, already a little like crazy. Like you can't tell me you need the money that bad to stoop to that level. That's wild.
Tiffany Haddish said a couple weeks ago that $10 million wasn't worth her soul, but you sold it for nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, what is that? If that ain't selling your soul, you needed that role. You read this thing and that shit made moral sense to you. You dug into that character and you were an aunt that allowed their child to get molested at a fuck by this nasty dude. That's what you thought was cool. You sold your soul there.
Yeah.